called the dinner table. That was like this. It's called the dinner table. Yeah.
So you just do whatever. I'm quite sure you've done this before
Yeah.
thousands of times. Yep, I don't hear anything. Where is it?
Live Talk Giggle is a weekly live stream show where the hosts interview guests, feature entrepreneurs, discuss relationships and today's topics, all while sipping wine and giving out advice. Now grab your glass, fill it up, and get ready to be entertained because it's about to go down. Well, that's it for us. Thanks for tuning in to tonight's episode of Live Talk.
I'm sorry. Welcome to Laugh Talk Giggle. Today's guest, we have Casey. Today is on our show. We're going to talk to Casey about his business and his movies and his upcoming projects. So welcome to the show, Casey.
How y'all doing today?
So basically, I saw your bio. It's very impressive.
Thank you.
And I read it, and you said at a young age you were interested in being in marketing, sales, and stuff. Tell me, how did that come about? What sparked your interest to go in that direction?
I think I just always interested in making money. So as a kid, I can remember my mom going to like the Hostess store, getting cupcakes and honey buns, stuff like that, and I would take them to school and sell it for a profit because we would get them like $4 for $1.
So how much you selling
And I
for?
would get them selling for like $1, $2,
Ooh.
and make a profit. I can remember having the sandwich bags with Kool-Aid and mixing it with sugar and taking those, and I would take them to school to sell it. And we would go to the candy store and get penny candy and bag it up and sell it for a profit. So it was something I started at a pretty young age.
Wow.
So entrepreneur spirit of swindling folks. I'm just joking.
And what you know about penny candy?
Right,
They didn't have no penny candy when you was out.
We did have penny candy.
What that? What was it called?
What
So
kind
candy
of
like
candy?
they had Fruities.
What is Fruities?
I would have to show you on my phone, but they still sell the stuff now. But a lot of times in like the liquor stores, they sell them $2 for $1 in the little bags.
I know what you're talking about. They
So,
chewy candy.
Chewies.
They come in a clear bag, and they look like Tootsie Rolls.
Oh,
Those.
It's a ton of them.
Yeah,
Like
it's a
so,
ton.
but
Mhm.
they had candy stores in, and we could get like we had access to everything. So you kind of find out. You find out the market of what people like, and you try to capitalize on it.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna be selling now laters next week for 25 cents a pack.
That's what they sell them for in the store.
But there's no store here, so I'm
That's
gonna go
true.
buy the big box and sell them for 25 cents a pack.
Okay.
I would sell them for 50 cents.
50. Nah, cause they say 25 on it.
Hey, listen, you need it.
That is true.
$1 water sell for $8 at the airport. So what's the
Yeah,
difference?
That is true.
So after the candy and the Kool-Aid adventure, what direction did you go in? Did you stay in that direction? And
I did that for a while. Trying to think. I can remember doing. I don't even know where the idea came from, but I used to go to like Joanne Fabrics and Michaels, and I would do bead bracelets. And then I would do colors. I would do
friendship-based bracelets.
It was man, it was so many different kind. I would do bracelets, necklace.
really?
Then they had the beads that had your name. It had the letters on there,
Yep,
so I could
with
put
the
your
little
name on
blocks
them.
and
You could,
stuff,
yeah, you could do hearts, and it was different designs. So I started being creative, doing like I probably really should have kept that, and really pushed it. But I played sports in high school, and like, so it was different things that probably kind of derailed me or detoured me to stop it. But like I said, I've always kind of had my hands into something.
Okay, so what are you working on? I know you're working on a couple of films.
Yeah, so we just had Asbury Park. That's a movie that me and my partner.
I missed that one. So how can I watch it? I know
It's on right now. It's on Tubi.
You got Tubi.
Oh, I do.
Tubi is free,
I think
so
it's free on there
yeah.
that you can watch it on there.
Tubi is a free site. Asbury Park is on
You
Tubi.
can watch it on. You can watch it free. He said.
I got Tubi.
Okay.
Yeah, so
What is that?
Asbury Park is on there. It's similar to
like an app.
Netflix or
Okay.
Amazon
But it's
Prime.
free.
It's another streaming service,
Okay.
but it's a little bit
Shout
different
out
because it's
Smart
not
TV though, right?
Yeah.
it's not subscription based, so you don't pay monthly like you do with
Oh, you put it on your
Amazon or
phone.
Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you put it on your phone, then it'll automatically, if you download the app on your TV, which most TVs come with it, then it'll just send you a code, and you can take that code, put it in, and it'll automatically connect it to your TV.
Yeah, I want to watch that. So let's talk about that. What
Give us a
what was that?
synopsis
Yeah.
of
What was that about?
It details the true life of growing up in the inner city, and it doesn't matter, what city or state that you're in. They say every city has a ghetto and every ghetto has a hood. So it talks about the true life of growing up in inner city. So when you look at a movie like New Jack City, we saw what Nino Brown became, but nobody talked about how he became Nino Brown. What was the situation, the circumstances that drove him to be that?
So it's like a back. It leads.
Yeah,
up
I mean,
to
and
how
you see
become
it right now.
a
If you watch the BMF series, you see some of it now where they talk about Big Meech and Southwest T, that they were misfortunate. They didn't have the money, and they were behind on the mortgage and different things like that, and they chose to sell drugs. And
You talking about the ones that lived here?
yeah,
Big
Yeah,
Meech.
that just got out of jail.
but it's not. Everybody's situation and circumstance is different. But you look
I
at.
need to get him on the show. I'm sorry.
No, you fine.
You know Big Meech?
No.
I'm just,
Oh, he's still in jail.
oh, okay. She
Yeah,
just said
His-
no.
no, his brother got- yeah,
brother's
his
out.
brother got
His
out.
brother got out,
Yeah.
but he's still in. Yep, his brother out.
Yeah.
On the show.
But it talks about the challenges that you deal with every day. So, a lot of times we know that if you're in a certain neighborhood and you call the police, they might not show up.
True.
But there are a lot of people who think that's fictional. When I went to college, my roommate was white, and he came from a town up in northern Michigan. They only had 4 black families. So the culture, the language, everything about us was completely new. And it's like, hey, I'm not racist, but I don't understand. I don't know. So when you're talking about this or you're explaining how this works where you're from, I look at it completely different. I worked in a company in Auburn Hills. I was the only black sales consultant.
Okay.
And it was known that I was the only black sales consultant because they talked about golf or they talked about baseball, and I'm a basketball guy.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, well, this is what we're into. But when they would talk about, oh, well, everything they did was in usually Auburn Hills, Rochester. A lot of those guys had never really been to downtown Detroit.
Okay.
Or it was like, hey, man, I like the sweater you have on. Where'd you get it from? It's like, oh, there's a store in Eastland Mall called Albertson. What's Eastland Mall? Because
It's not familiar.
it's all there's no familiarity with them, So oftentimes you hear that, oh, this kid sold drugs or this kid dropped out of school, and if you're privileged, it's easy to say, oh, that could never be me. I would never do this, but how do you know if you've never been in that situation?
Okay. So the casting, how did the casting come about? Because I know you had.
Yeah, so I've got a partner. He goes by Legend. We've been working together for some years. He actually wrote and directed the movie. And when you look at the casting, we sit down usually and kind of brainstorm from how we say we watch BMF, and we got, in our office, we got these different whiteboards, and you got names of people and what characters they could fit. You reach out to the agents, you reach out to their managers, and you find out who's willing to read the script.
Okay, well, I want to be an extra.
They called me, but I wasn't.
Just like I said, and the funny part, like I posted it on my Instagram and Facebook
Did
when we need extras, like we did for the movie Black Lies. We had extras in a club scene, and there was a scene at a park. We had extras in, so yeah, it's
Now,
there.
this is the one that's premiering this
Yep.
coming Saturday.
It's gonna be this Saturday, November the 27th, at the Bel Air Theater.
Okay, let everybody know where they can get tickets. At.
The tickets you can get at blackliesmovie.com. You can reach me on Instagram at IamKC_Carson. It's Casey Carson on Facebook. So
They can't buy tickets at the door then, or venue?
If it's sold out, then no.
Okay.
So
Is it
we'll
sold
know.
out right now?
I'll know midday tomorrow. I'll have a tally of exactly how many
Okay.
tickets we have left. But somebody wants tickets. My number is 586-255-5636.
And how
And-
much are the tickets?
The tickets are $35.
And that's for the premiere.
That's for the
just red
premiere.
carpet premiere.
Correct.
So they
And
have
the-
to dress appropriately.
Well,
How do you?
I'm pro-choice.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm pro-choice. So whatever makes you happy, whatever you're comfortable
And
in.
what time does it start?
The red carpet starts at 6:45, and the movie itself starts at 8 p.m.
Okay.
So will the actors all be there, or some of them will they be there?
Glenn Plummer won't be there. He had a
You know
family
who he
emergency
is.
where he won't be there. And Glenn Plummer played OG Bobby Johnson, and
Yeah, you know who he is. Tell her who else, because we talked about him.
have you ever seen Minister Society? He was Purnell in Minister Society.
She,
Okay, don't.
you
put
know
me
who
on-
you know who he's talking
don't put me on
about.
blast in a minute.
Because me and you
'cause
had
I have never
me and you had a
seen-
conversation about him.
Is he like really old? Is he young?
He's 60.
Is he?
I think Glenn is 60.
Is he handsome? Oh no, that's why I don't know.
Remember?
Which one? This one right here?
Yeah,
remember
it's all the same person.
I've seen him
I
somewhere.
told
Yeah,
you.
he's played in the. Glenn has
He's
been in a
played a
ton of
lot
movies.
of stuff.
He kind of look like you ain't gonna believe me, but he kind of look like Denzel when you look at him from a distance. Not like when you look at him hard, but when you be like, oh, his face.
Because remember he wears the braids, the twist, the hair. See?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, that's right now. He got a
Oh,
haircut.
Lord,
He got a haircut right now. But that's probably 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
This about him now.
No, I got a recent picture of me and him.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I don't really know what he played in, but his face is
Yeah,
familiar.
he's
Yeah,
played
and
in
then
South.
there's
What's that movie? Central, South Central.
South Central.
He's played in a lot of stuff.
Was it difficult to get him?
No, I mean what I'll say this: when you've been dealing with the celebrities, you find out that either they do it for the money or they do it based on the role with the script.
Okay.
So you have some people who, no matter what's going on, they chasing a check, and I understand it's a business.
Right.
You have some people who feel that they've always wanted to play certain roles, and sometimes when you're in Hollywood, you're cast as a certain person. It's kind of like a stereotype. You got some people, they're always a cop or they're always a bad
Right.
guy.
Yeah.
So to have the opportunity to play a doctor, a lawyer, a college professor, anything like that, sometimes that's intriguing. And if the story speaks volumes on their end, if it speaks to something that that they're passionate about, they tend to want to do it.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember when they interviewed Lawrence Fishburne, he said his favorite movie was King of New York. Yeah.
That's one of
He said that
that's
was
one
his
of my
favorite.
favorite movies.
Well, he
yeah.
played
Is
as
that
a.
comedy?
No, he
No.
played as a
He was a drug dealer. Him, Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes was played the
Um,
cop.
I need to probably watch some TV. or something.
Yeah, you do. You do.
That's a much
She-
older movie.
She got everything on her TV and don't everything. I'll be like, she be like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So is this your second movie or?
This is my second movie, and we've got a third movie we did this year that'll be out hopefully the second week of December. It'll be out.
Can you talk about that?
It's called Consequences.
What is it based on? What is it about?
I'm gonna come back in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So now this Black Lies,
Yeah,
Lies, right?
correct.
When I looked at it the first time, I thought it said something different. But what is that about? Give us a synopsis.
Black
of
Lies speaks to paternity fraud. So you have a gentleman by the name of Carter who is a wonderful father to his son, and after the kid turns 6, he finds out that he's not his biological father.
that. Wow.
So now he's faced to make a decision whether he's going to follow his heart and stay in his kid's life, or is the pain and agony too much and he's going to leave.
That is such an interesting piece because by the court, he still has to
is.
pay child support.
Well, in certain instances. So if he signed the birth certificate, he has to pay child support.
now if they were married, he has to pay.
If they were
Oh,
married, he
I
has to
didn't know
pay.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
know that if you
So
were
if you
married.
marry somebody and then you get pregnant by somebody else, and say by the time the child turns 3 or 4 or 10, and the father finds out, by the legal system, you are that child's parent, and they don't care who the dad is.
That's
you're
correct.
supposed to pay child support to that child, like regular child support.
Ooh.
you're obligated. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
which I think is unfair, but I understand the cause behind
that's
it because the child don't, it's the baby doesn't know, and it's not the child's fault. So the court feels like the child is being punished.
But should the father be slighted?
I think they should find the original daddy, and
Even if not, at that point, what happens to the mom?
I think she should see. It's a hard thing. You can't put her in jail because
You can't.
you
But
split the
so
father
paternity
parents up.
laws didn't come around until the 1950s, and when they were designed to do what the courts considered to be in the best interest of the child. And DNA testing wasn't able to be used until 1988. So anything prior to
That is babies and babies. I actually know somebody that found out when their daughter was 19 that it wasn't their daughter.
Yeah.
Had raised them all that time, and the mother always knew. And the daughter didn't know, but she actually knew her biological dad because she thought it was her uncle from her mother's side on marriage.
Oh.
Had the biological dad had been in her life all the time. The father never met him. He just heard of him, but he thought he was somebody else. I was like, wow.
Yeah, me and my partner Legend, we did a show called The Dinner Table a few weeks ago, and everybody kind of looked at us when the question was asked, well, if it was you, what would you do? And I don't think I would be there full time. I'm not gonna say I don't think I wouldn't be there full
I
time
think initially
because
you'd be hurt.
it's at that point is not my responsibility. Like if you have kids, the hardest thing to do is to be a parent because of the sacrifices that come.
Yep, I just had
So
this
you
conversation.
think you would just go?
Is at that point it's not my responsibility. So
Ooh.
I know a guy personally right now who's raising a kid that is not biologically his, and he struggles financially. In my opinion, I think he's an asshole. Oh, can we cuss in here?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so the words you can say is ass, fuck, damn, hell, fuck that bitch, nigga, what? No, I'm just saying.
She says it all.
it's okay.
But we're going to take a small break. You're watching Laugh Talk Giggle on WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world, streaming live every Monday night at 7 p.m. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and what is it? Twitch. And just remember to subscribe, like us, comment, share. Okay, we back to you.
No, but he struggles, and it's like if you didn't have that kid, what could you be doing right now? So we've had conversations. It's like, well, I can't work the kind of job I need to because the kid has to go to school, or I don't have enough money for daycare and these different things. But you're taking care of somebody else's responsibility and putting yourself in a financial hole.
I know somebody in that situation.
When you look at, there are a lot of things that people get criticized for, and I'll give you an example. As a mother, if you say, you know what, I got pregnant, I don't want to have this baby, it's your right to have an abortion. As a mom, you can say, you know what, I had this baby, it's too much. I'm going to give this kid up for adoption, sign over my rights. You don't owe child support, anything else. You sign over. A father can't have that option.
True.
I can say, hey, you know what? We were having fun. We enjoyed each other, but this is not the responsibility that I want. Okay. And you say, well, I want to make this decision, and now I'm held captive, and this is a decision that you made.
I agree.
It's not a situation where a father can sign over his rights and not have to deal with child support and these different things. So it's never done in the interest of fairness. I
think the laws are antiquated for so many things,
right?
That when they were created, they made sense, but in this day and age, they no longer make sense.
Depending on the situation.
If a woman gets pregnant, and there was I did a Facebook Live with some people a few weeks ago, and they asked this question, and I chimed in on it. If a woman gets pregnant and the father tells her that he does not want to be in the kid's life, and she decides to have the baby, is he technically considered to be a deadbeat? In my opinion, I'm going to say no. Because at conception, I'm saying, hey, this is not what I want to do. This is not the role. And everybody says, what? Oh, well, he should have wore a condom.
But is it right, though?
Is it right?
Yeah.
But see, now,
when you say right or wrong, that's all based on, it's 100% subjective because it's based on how you feel.
And
it's like ugly and pretty. It's about how I feel about it.
So for like saying that he should wear a condom, why couldn't she put a condom on? because they have female condoms. So it's a whole.
I'll give you a better one.
Piece on there.
I'll give you a better one. Truthfully, if he didn't wear a condom, it's her fault.
Well, yeah, she should be looking down.
No, it ain't about looking down because at the end of the when you say looking down, but at the end of the day,
you know what's going on in your
men
body.
are women choose and men get chose. So at the end of the day, I can say, "Oh, I want you so bad, and I want it, and if you say no, then unless he's gonna physically take it, the answer is no. So you can say all day long, he can tell you, I don't want to wear this condom, I don't want to wear it, and you say, oh, well, the only way you get it is if you wear it. 9 out of 10 times, he's going to wear it.
Right.
So you have the power at the end of the day, and it doesn't make it right or wrong, when you're saying like, oh, you give you take the guy off the hook or anything like that, but it's not like she didn't have the power. I've heard stories of like, man, it was 3:30 in the morning, it was a foot of snow outside, and she's like, the only way I could get it, I walked to the store in the snow. Because you wanted it that bad. Right. So it's like, don't sit here and make it like, oh, it's impossible for situations to happen. People are going to be human. Mistakes happen. But if somebody decides that they don't want a part in this, I feel like at some point or another they should revisit the laws and try to figure out what is considered to be the interest of fairness for both parties.
And I agree. But when you making your films, how long does it take you?
As of right now, we can.
How many times you have to go back and edit?
Right now, we can complete a feature, filming wise, in 14 to 15 days.
What? A whole movie?
Really?
Black Lives was filmed in 14 days, from beginning to end. Like 12.
Not okay.
No, go ahead.
Regular movies that they say takes to a year and a half, 2 years.
Well,
is it because they're bringing people in from all over?
Well, it all
casting, budgeting. I'm confused.
It all depends on what you're doing, because if you're looking at a situation where, like Forrest Gump, took forever, but they had to build a set to. Did you see Forrest Gump?
Actually, I have.
Okay, so
I saw the commercial where he was sitting on the bench.
You seen any action movies like The Expendables or
the cartoon? Oh, no, I'm sorry. You said Expendables.
Tell me a movie you've seen.
Right. I just saw that movie last week or so. Hang 'em High, the cowboy movie, whatever it was.
She didn't like it.
With
the one that Jay-Z produced.
Regina King.
Okay, so a movie like that. For those people, they had to build out a set. When they film, it's a little bit different because you got, they might have had a $50 million budget. So everything is, and when I use Forrest Gump, you're building out a set to make it look like the Vietnam War. So there are a lot of things when you're doing explosions and different things. All of that stuff takes time. It has to be done in a certain format. On my end, right now, I do a lot of dramas. So without the explosions and car crashes, have you ever seen Bad Boys? Will Smith Mark
like
on Bad Boys 2 when they had the freeway and all the cars were flipping over and these different things. Like those things are what takes time. You need so many different type of you might have it's a permit for everything. For literally, if I wanted to go technically film, just take pictures on Belle Isle, I'm supposed to pull a permit.
So has Detroit or Michigan been friendly to you guys making movies? Because at one time Michigan was like the place to go, or it seemed like the place to go to make movies. Are they still open, or?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. We've had our bumps in the road. Okay. We had a situation where I spoke about it the other day with Kyle Rittenhouse. Our movie set was raided back last year when we were filming in Asbury Park.
Really?
We had an off-duty Detroit police detective who we paid to do security, and we did a scene outside of a liquor store. So out there might have been 70 people. The owner of the store agreed to let us be there. That was no issue. And actually, the store was closed at the time because it was in the midst of the pandemic. The police officers from that district, when they came, we got makeup chairs, you got lights, multiple cameras, you got people holding boom poles with microphones. They asked what we were doing. We told them we were filming a movie, gave them all the information. It was fine. No issues, no problems. Maybe 45 minutes later, officers from a different district came. It might have been 7 cars that came. They impounded cars. They wrote tickets. We had a gentleman that ended up going to jail behind it. So we had 2 kids that were charged with brandishing a firearm, and they were in the movie. They were police officers. They had on uniforms. The uniform said inner city, so that there was no confusion, as if you're impersonating Detroit or Roseville or Macomb. So it said inner city. They had BB guns. Okay. They were holstered. They still ticketed them for brandishing a firearm. Well, if you look up the definition of finding out brandishing, it talks about intimidation. So if the gun was holstered and they were uniformed, what was the form of intimidation to the general public? Right. Everyone there was on the movie set. Wow. The gentleman who had an issue, he had a rifle that was in his car. The car was not occupied. They searched his vehicle. They found the rifle. They impounded the car. They arrested him. So when I sit back and, so now I'm dealing with lawyer fees and, getting cars out of the impound, the whole 9. But when I sit back and I look at Kyle Rittenhouse, who was 17 in Wisconsin, and he borrowed a assault rifle to allegedly go and help people in downtown, I believe it was. He ended up killing 2 people and wounded another one. And he walked away and was... It was deemed as self-defense.
They said they were running at him.
My question is, at what point was he liable because he went and picked up the weapon and took it? At 17, you can't carry a gun.
Right.
And for me, I know a ton of people who get caught with a gun that they never fired. They're charged and go to prison for it.
2 years. One get you.
You get 2 to 5. Yeah. So, that goes back to Asbury Park talks about the social injustices in America. It talks about white privilege because it's real. So he's a prime example. You've never seen a black defendant standing next to the judge in his chambers and anything, picking your own jury. They allowed him to pick the names out of a hat. That doesn't happen with black people.
No.
Whatsoever.
Oh, no.
He was, you say being judged by a jury, your peers.
He got offered a job, too. I think they said some senator or something said they wanted to hire him.
He'll be a millionaire probably within the next year. He's gonna probably write a book and the whole 9
about the injustice put against him for even charging him.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's from Chicago. In Chicago, he's not supposed to have a firearm.
Okay.
So he ended up going to visit Wisconsin and borrowing somebody's gun and saying, "Hey, I need to help people." So it's like at that point, if you needed a weapon, that means you shouldn't have been there.
Right.
If
so he's going to protect. What he say? He's going to protect the store owners from the rioters.
Yeah.
And then didn't the judge say you couldn't call the protesters victims? Mm-hmm. The judge had said that you can't call them victims. They were rioters. Because they were rioting and tearing stuff up and acting fool, which they were not doing.
Yeah. So it's like I said, we had some interesting things that have happened.
So now this second, because I'm flipping back to the Black Lies, who is the same writer?
Correct.
Legend.
Yes.
Wrote the same. So I'm gonna flip back to this first one. I just thought about. The second one? Did he? What? Oh, I wish he was here so we could ask him what kind of spurred. I'm sure he told you what made him come up with that concept about this fraternity incident.
Well, a few things that happened. I mean, he was a fatherless child in his life. He didn't have his dad in his life, and he actually knew who he was. But again, coming from the neighborhood he was in, it was something he seen quite often.
Okay.
So, and I tell people when I might have been 19, I had a one night stand. 2 years later, I got paternity papers.
Oh wow!
And
2 years?
It was over 2 years, I believe, because the kid actually, when I found out that he was actually biologically my child, it was maybe like a month before his second birthday. So that was almost 3 years. Because, you go through 9 months of pregnancy.
Right.
Had I decided I only wanted to pay money and not be involved, the average person would say, "What? You're wrong." But I didn't get an option or a choice in the situation.
You didn't even know.
So, when you sit back and look at, like I said, how the laws are created, it's usually never in what's in the best interest of the father.
True.
When you say, when they talk about child support, if I make $2 million a year and your child's mom is making 40,000, is she entitled to 25,000 a month of your money? Does it take 25,000
I
a
don't
month
think that's right.
to raise a child?
Just
So
like the incident we was talking about, but what's her name? What's Dr. Dre and his wife? That's crazy. There's no way.
When you look at that,
she didn't build his fortune.
Exactly.
Would you, in her instance, would you ever remarry? You just
If
date.
I was her,
You would date forever.
Why would you remarry? Because when you
Now
remarry, you lose your
you lose the money.
support.
Yeah. So at that point, you just date forever.
Right.
Well, I know
you can
she
have
only-
somebody living up
Well, I
on
know
you
she
and
only gets a
everything.
certain amount for how many years, but then they said that wasn't edged in stone that they going back, but still that's a lot
She'll
of
get
money.
millions, and it was the same thing back when
Right.
when Kobe Bryant had his situation.
Yep.
She was gonna get half of the fortune, and she hadn't played in one basketball game.
I agree.
And I understand if you're with somebody and things happen and you feel like you should be compensated. I understand that. A severance package, I get it. But
You gotta go in the door, y'all.
but when you say like literally the entire fortune has to be 100% split down the middle and different things, that's a lot.
Yeah, Bill Gates' wife got a lot. Melinda Gates.
Yeah. And did she have the great idea for Microsoft and
Right.
any of that? No.
And then
Which is like Michael Jordan's
Michael Jordan, I
wife.
was about to say.
But she was with him.
She was there
She
for
was his lawyer, so she deserved that money.
I don't know if she deserved that much of the money.
But again, when you say did she didn't play in the game, and you can say, well, she had kids and she had a great life.
She sure did.
What did she ever had to worry about, or
Financially, she never had to worry about anything.
the hardest part of the average adult's life is the financial side of it.
Right.
That's what usually causes all of the problems, is the
problems,
finances.
But now you do have some men getting, Halle Berry's, she paying out some money. And so I think Britney Spears was too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there are some
I feel like
justices in
I
there,
personally feel like
but
prenups are should be a necessity.
I
I do
think
too.
that it should be across the board. No matter how you go into a relationship, you should always have a prenuptial. It should be a part of a marriage license, and you shouldn't be able to waive it. I don't think, because when you get to waiving certain things, stuff happen. What love ebbs and flows. So you in love, you out of love, you in love. You have to work to stay in love. Love does not last forever. It's something that you have to work for. And if two people aren't working, then it's gonna ebb real low.
Right.
That's
And
the
that's
hardest
the time
job
where
there
people
is.
say, "Wait a minute, I should not," because that's what was this Mr. Dre, Dr. Dre's wife, talking about she was forced to sign the prenup. Girl, stop.
Right.
But that's the whole thing. That's why I said it should not be an option.
Relationships are the hardest thing ever to deal with.
They're hard to deal with, but they're also, people have different concepts of what they are.
Right.
Marriage to you and marriage to me could be
Could be
two
totally
different
things.
things.
This is what you put in.
And
It is what you put into it, and are you willing to do the
It's
work?
work. It's
It's
constant.
work.
It is
It's
constant.
like a
work.
job.
I was
is.
married a long time, and it is constant
It
work.
is because
It's work, and you have to want to be in love. People don't even understand that.
what
You fall in lust, and then behind lust, you get a little love. But that does not last. That's your honeymoon phase. After a few years, you be like, damn, does this nigga get on my nerves? Like, you started looking at him like,
Well-
nigga, you got to go.
as people
Roll over in the bed. Damn.
we naturally selfish.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. As people, we naturally selfish.
Oh, we
I
are.
tell everybody the first rule of life
100%.
is self-preservation in my mind. So what usually happens is someone gets upset at another person because they don't want to make themselves unhappy to make you happy.
Yep.
Oh, he needs to be on
But that's
the show
true.
with relationships.
Oh,
He's
my
making
relationship
yeah.
guy. He
So
come in and
that's
say,
the thing about it. If
you only want to make yourself uncomfortable and unhappy in the beginning of a relationship.
Well-
before it's actually secured. It's like, I got to get that ring, but I got to get that name signed. Then after that, I have noticed. It's just from my life on
People
this
just
planet.
get lax.
Right. You'd be like, well, either I got this person, you don't work as hard. You
Well, I'm married now. I ain't
right,
gotta do
I'm
nothing
married.
else.
Or you only, the things you did. I hear this all the time where guys will say the things that she did or a person does before they get married. Once you get married, they end.
And some people feel the things that you did to get that mate, you need to continue.
I think you should. I'm just being honest. I 100% think that whatever you do, if you step outside of the person you naturally are, I don't care what it is. If you doing your hair every day, going to the gym, wearing makeup, doing your nails, whatever it is you do to get this person, male or female, if it's a man or a woman, if a man's trying to get a woman, he do something he don't normally do, and a woman, if it's not what you normally do, and you brought me in under false pretenses, you need to maintain this false pretense until the very end.
But that's kind of hard because
then you should not do
no.
it.
When I say that, as people, we evolve, we
And
grow.
evolve. You
So
should make it even better.
when you look at, and I'll take me for an example. I don't have a lot of time. That's probably the biggest gripe that I have with my wife. You're always busy, but there's something that I'm chasing, that I'm trying to do. So, yeah, you do what you can and you try to do your best, but it's not gonna be the same as when you were working a 40-hour job, just 8 to 4 every day, and it's like, oh yeah, I had all the time in the world, but I was a regular everyday guy. And you look up and it's like, now I make. So just think, you had a guy and he was making $40,000 a year, and
I'm sorry.
no, because it happened.
listening.
You had a guy that was making 40 grand a year, but he was at home every day at 4 o'clock. You went on a date 3 days a week and all of these good things, and he had all the time in the world for you. And then you got a guy that's making $700,000 a year,
We together.
and he's making $65,000-$70,000 a month, and he's traveling 2 days out the week, and he's gone and
Could
he's
you
doing
deal
these
with
different
that?
things.
No.
Can you
not
handle that?
traveling?
Why am I not
He
traveling?
is because he has a job.
They got seats on planes.
This one right here,
And
this one right here is selfish.
and that becomes difficult
she would be
because
mad.
honestly,
Right
everything
there.
I do, my wife can't be there. It
Most
don't.
things. Where you at?
So it's gonna always be an issue
700.
because the question becomes then at that point the 80-20 rule.
That again is an ebb and flow on that as well. There's never equality anywhere, so there's always going to be challenges. And if you allow time to be a challenge, that's because it's been allowed to be a challenge. Anything, this is the one thing I've learned about men and women. Anything a man wants, he's going to set time to have. See, and time doesn't mean that I have to face you. It means that, you know what, baby, I'm tired. I got this, I'm on the plane, but I'm going to FaceTime you, and I'm going to let you know that I'm here with you. See, it's not always that right there time. It's just making time for what you want, because these busy men who don't have, and they're not speaking on you, who they have no time, sometimes find to have these side chicks all the time. So my point in there is anything a person, man or woman, anything I want to do, anything, I'm going to make time to do it. I know who I am as a person. Most people do. If it's important enough for me to want it, it's important enough for me to set time. I will move stuff around, navigate, get up early, go to bed late, whatever it is I have to do. And the people that I've watched in my life, I've seen it happen. I've seen people who are super busy. They always say I don't have time for stuff, and then I see them, oh, you had time to do such and such. And it's not anything relating to me, but what I've observed them doing. I've worked with executives who I used to send all over the world, and they still had time to do the things they wanted to do. So I believe that people always find time to do what they want. You might not have it every day,
But is it enough?
it depends on your relationship.
Because I don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think you can necessarily make a woman happy. I think you can make them content and comfortable.
You're not supposed to make a woman happy. A woman's supposed to come to the relationship already happy.
I think you can make them content and comfortable because naturally you're gonna want more. You've never met a person that's rich that says I have enough money. They still do what?
Yeah.
Invest, business ventures. They're still growing. Donald Trump, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, you name it. They're all still trying to get more. the rappers. They're still trying to get more athletes. They're still so it's the same thing. When you're in, you can say, hey, I take you. You know, we going to date 2 days a week. I want to date 4 days a week. You can tell somebody,
That's a selfish mentality,
but
though.
it's
And
a
that's
natural thing. And
immaturity.
I know a lot of guys in relationships,
If
a lot of people that are married.
She
It-
ain't got time to be sitting up
It
there
happens
4
all the
days a week.
time. You know, I have conversations every day because we're steady developing content, and whether it's men or women, the average woman that I speak with, they say, hey, I always want more. I want more time, more attention, more affection, more love. I want more compliments. I've never heard a woman say my husband gives me enough confidence.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you have to think.
yeah, that's a lot.
And I think
That's
it depends on the individual person, because I'm a true believer that I never go into a relationship broken. I'm not broke. I'm not needy. I don't need you to make me happy because I came happy. You're supposed to enhance it like I'm enhancing your happiness.
Right.
But you ain't making me happy, because when you walk away, I'm still smiling. But there's a lot of women and men who
That-
believe that they're in a relationship to be
To help this,
that's my
to
other
help
half.
They,
No. I'm whole when I got there. You're
But that's
just a
not even something that's
compliment.
taught in
But that's
everyday America. It's
Okay,
not.
but-
It's not taught.
It may not be taught.
I can agree
That's
with you.
because,
I'm not.
Whatever. I
I'm
don't
not
know
telling
who
you that
taught
you're
it.
wrong. I actually agree with you. But when you sit back and look, oftentimes girls become mothers before they become women. So
Some of them
now-
never become women.
So now you talk about the baggage that comes. Everybody usually has some kind of emotional, trauma,
I agree.
some physical trauma. Like it's so much that comes with it. So you're looking for somebody to alleviate that pain.
yeah.
You're looking for somebody to
counseling.
fill a hole in the void.
I
But
agree.
when you talk about counseling and mental health, that became popular within the last 5 years maybe.
Oh, it's
Well,
been-
in the black world.
In the
I
black
don't
in
know.
the black community,
in my
it hasn't
world.
even been a full 10 years because you see.
well, most people don't want it. Most
They
people
see it as their
they
role.
see it as something is wrong.
And it
You
is
going to-
something wrong.
But I'm just,
It's
no,
like
I'm
it's
just saying,
gonna
like,
publicly
like I'm
wanna be-
crazy
Right.
to go talk to somebody. A
Yeah,
lot
but
of
they
people
don't want to.
wanna
They don't
admit that.
necessarily want to live their
But,
truths,
um,
and it's
I,
hidden.
I just believe when you're broken and you haven't let your baggage go and you come into a relationship, that relationship is not going to work
Never.
because to me, you have to fix yourself before you can be with anybody else. I just.
But how do
truly
you fix
believe that.
yourself if you necessarily don't even know what's wrong? How do you fix
Most
yourself
people-
when?
most-
You know what? If you look at a string of relationships,
and
and the constant variable is you, and the constant issue.
you look at the
It's trust
you look at
or
the type of
whatever.
men that you've been with, and if they the
Or
same
women.
type of men, you gotta figure it out.
And people around you, and this is the one thing I've known, people around you telling you what's wrong. Now, if you're open enough to listen, that's one thing. But you have family, everything. They'll be like, it's not that man or it's not that woman. Well, every
But
time you get
Well,
with a
that's a
person,
denial.
It
it's-
depends on your
That's
circle.
denial. Because I mean, sometimes
That's
it's
another
you.
thing. It depends on your circle.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Sometimes
I get it.
sometimes it's you. Sometimes because I think most people when they do come into relationships, they want to talk about the past, and I think that you shouldn't do that because it can ruin your relationship.
But one,
Because
they
the
don't do
past is
cleansings.
the past is the past.
They need to do one thing is most people don't do a cleanse when they're in a relationship. They, as soon as they break off one, what's that thing? The old, it's an old wise
Fine,
tale. As soon
To
as
get
you
over
break up-
to get over one, get
under
over somebody
one.
else, get another one.
that
don't work.
I believe in the every year you've been together, you need 2 or 3 months apart with nobody. So when me and my last broke up, I went 2 years before I even dated because I had to work on me. Because though I blame you, no, for the relationship, I knew I was a part of it. So I knew there was something that I did in that relationship that wasn't right. So then I took a hiatus, or longer than 2 years, but it's like a 2-year minimum hiatus. I said, I'm gonna take this hiatus because I need to work on me. I need to get Jay fixed because Jay thinks a certain way. Jay moves a certain way. Jay got a strong personality. Jay can
Yes.
be who I am. And so I knew that it wasn't all him. It was a 50-50 that we didn't make. And that's, we moved too fast. So now it's like, okay, now I need to move slow. I got to take my time because,
But you was
You
so
can't-
young.
no, I'm talking about with what's his name?
Okay, anyway.
That was my second relationship. But
Okay.
not my first relationship, my second one. So I had to take a break though. But I'm not saying everybody believes in that, but I personally think that it was the best thing for me. And I always tell people, take a breather, let that past go, let that person go, because it gives you the time to play back in your head. What was wrong? What you did right? What you did wrong? Was it him? Was it me? You know, I blamed him. You know, oh, he did this. Now I thought about it. I was like, oh, God, you crazy ass. You was kind of doing some shit too. Every time he did this, you was over here, you know, like you his mama. I realized I can't be a grown man's mama. So I can't raise a man. But you can get pushed into these roles sometimes where you're raising somebody else. A man should not come to you. Remember I was telling you, they should not come to you looking to get their, you shouldn't think for them on the basic necessities. I shouldn't have to tell you how to live, where to live, what kind of car to drive, pay your bills on time. Those things a grown man should come with doing, as well as a woman should come with doing. But we can fall into relationships because we move too fast. So had I jumped out of that relationship, been all hurt, and jumped into a new relationship, it'd have been the same way. I'd been right back in the same thing. I can even mess up some good ass man because I'm bringing some old stuff. So now when I go into a relationship, I'm going in there again, I'm going whole. But I'm even better than the last time now because I had this time by myself. I had time where I could think. I had time where I can analyze me. I had time where I could talk to people and say, hey, did I do? Was that me? I got people in my ear telling me, well, you know, that wasn't a good thing. So I have people that I listen to. I have people that tell me stuff that's not right, but I still analyze to see. So I firmly believe that all males and females, when you break up, you should never go straight into another relationship. You should, and it's not a sexual thing. That's what they make porn and masturbation for. People use it. I ain't saying I used it, but I might have an account somewhere. But I'm saying that to say that it's not a sex. It's not go get the sex and, you know, get up under another man. When you leave one headache and you just under another one because you're creating drama and trauma in this person's life. So we have to learn to police ourselves, govern how we move, and then come whole to somebody. So you don't need 4 or 5 dates. Well, that's me. I'm just saying you don't need 4 or 5 dates a night or a week with a person. And time is not necessarily physical time. It's that time where we can talk and I can share how I'm thinking. I can look at you on the phone and be like, hey, I know you're busy. I got to be your peace. I can't be your peace if I'm your chaos. So a woman should never be bringing this chaos to a man. You're never here. Where are you at? That's not what they're supposed to do. She's supposed to bring you peace. You're not here because you're making that money, baby. I know what you're doing. But we talking. We having that conversation. That's how we have to raise our daughters. We have to raise our daughters not to be your bed partner, but be your mind partner. Because that's what we're there for. We're supposed to be there to soothe the soul, not ignite your spirit to get you sexually active. That's nothing. Any bitch can fuck a nigga.
Yeah, but everybody's love language is different.
But love language, only 5 of them. And you can learn a person's love language. And I know mine, you know yours, and then you navigate that.
But it still becomes an issue a lot of times because what makes you happy doesn't necessarily make me happy. So now I'm forced to.
That's when you have to have that conversation.
But now you're forced to compromise. So that's what I said.
But you always
right.
compromise.
But that's what I said. That's the hardest thing to do is to
understanding.
compromise and not be selfish.
Well, you're going to be selfish even in compromise because it's not.
Because
you're gonna
somebody's
feel like
not
you're
going to
giving
get
up
their way.
something.
Yeah, it's not genuine.
But it's not that it's not that you're being selfish. The compromise is this. If I'm moving towards this, I'm okay with this because we both compromise. See, compromise isn't a one-sided thing, and that's I think where people get confused. If you and I in a relationship and you telling me, well, this is what I want, and I'm saying this is what we got to come to a middle point. It's not just what you want. It's not that the 80-20 don't go, you get 80. It's not 80% that I'm compromising and you 20% compromise. That's not the 80-20. That's different parts of our relationship, but the compromise is in the middle. So we want to do this, you know, I want my room beige, you want it yellow. We about to do cream. We about to find the color in between.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's an in between. It's not, oh, this is what you want right now and we're going to give it to you. That's not compromise. Compromise is down the center. It's an equal. You get half of what you want, I'm getting half of what I want. So now we working together because now I know we willing to work, but I can't assume what you want. Like you can't assume what I want. We gotta have that
talk.
whole
Yeah,
piece. We gotta talk. And the thing that I had, somebody told me the other day.
The thing is, the worst thing, you gotta have communication, and a lot of people just don't have that.
And not communication in the end.
And that's the key.
Someone told me the other day, we were talking about communication, and what I think communication is, if I have a dream, I got to bring you in on the beginning of my thought process, not in the middle of the dream and hope you jump on board and be like, oh, we got a dream. A dream or a goal, whatever you have, communication has to start from the beginning. So it's the seed planted. As soon as the seed hits me, I got to be coming to my mate saying, hey, this is what I want to do, so you can buy in the beginning of the dream. And then you can massage that dream with me to help it, make it a success. So that's communication. But what we're doing in communication now is you did, but it's all after the fact. Communication got to start in the beginning. We got this dream. This is what we're doing. Every thought that I have, I need to be sharing. See, somebody told me before, you share too much. You cannot share too much with your partner. If you're sharing too much with your mate, y'all not meant to be together. Because how can you share too much for the person that you call you committed your life to? If me and you together and we in a relationship and we in love, how can I overshare with you? I don't understand that process. So men have been told, be careful what you give women. You only give them this much. Women now being told, don't give a man everything, just give him this much. And so when they talk about we communicate and they still having this gap, it's because y'all both holding back. There's no melding of the minds. Just because my mind is all over the place, I can still share it with you, and you be like, "This heifer here."
It's crazy
But you go
as hell.
right, she's crazy as hell. But I love
But you
her.
understand. But you understand.
And I know everything
yeah.
she talking about. I know what she want. I know what she, and I don't. And that's how you massage it, though. But if you wait to the end, and I'm bringing you in at the end of my dream, you can't massage it with me because now I'm feeling like you trying to change it. But if I bring you in the beginning, and you be like, "Yeah, babe," but that's why I think we find in our relationships where we just we gotta do better. That's all I can say. We gotta do better. All I can say is we gotta do better, people. I could talk about this for 5 days and 3 nights.
But you're gonna have to come back. But we got 3 minutes left
For the day?
Yes, and so tell people about the tickets again.
Facebook,
Give us your
Instagram.
Facebook, your Instagram. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the jury.
Oh, he said he coming back.
I want him to come back. Yeah, because I want that ring.
I never did get the bracelet.
Right, I want that ring with the rhinestones all the way around. Remember,
No.
I couldn't get the
see
link. Yes, you did, because I sent the link to you, but I couldn't open it up. It's a ring. It's a band. It looked like a wedding band, but it's just got rhinestones all the way around it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know
Oh,
me,
that'd be
I
cute.
like.
I want one on
You
my
know me, I
phone.
like the bling bling. But anyway, go ahead, Casey.
Yeah, my Instagram is IamKC_Carson. My Facebook is KC Carson, just the initials. The premiere is going to be Saturday, November the 27th at the Bel Air Theater. The red carpet starts at 6:45. Showtime starts at 8. The tickets are $35 a piece. For somebody who was looking, you can call me at 586-255-5636 or go to blacklivesmovie.com.
All right. So
I have a whole thought that I just lost. I was thinking about the Connect, the website, Facebook stuff. We can put it on our
on our
Yeah, I can give you a
yeah, because I
yeah.
you ain't got no cards, Casey. You ain't got no cards.
No, I just ordered. It's called an OVO card.
What's that?
It's electronic, so instead of you giving somebody a paper card, I can actually just take my wallet and tap your phone, just like how you scan barcodes, and the business card will come to your phone. So it's supposed to be here.
Wow.
It's supposed to be here on Wednesday the
Right.
24th.
Where you get that from? We trying to steal some stuff.
I'm supposed to have that Wednesday the 24th. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so now you got a third movie, but you said you're gonna come back and talk about that.
Yeah,
Because
it's,
that's
so
in
on the
December.
fourth movie, Kill Kelly.
Jay gonna be in there. You gonna be an extra.
I got you.
I could be a bag
As
lady
the
or whatever.
camera go by, I'm
I mean,
like,
hey,
why are you waving?
I tell everybody the same thing.
Oh, and tell them they can go to your Facebook and look for the announcements when you're looking for extras.
Yeah, I
You
post
said
on
your
Facebook.
Instagram?
I post on
it's on
Instagram.
he said both.
Oh,
You can go to
'Cause you are
IB Media,
business.
IYBEmedia.com. That's our official website where we talk about casting calls, auditions, the whole nine. So everything is posted there as well.
Okay. Okay.
so
Well,
do you have any comedies coming? I'm sorry, I know we only got a few minutes, but
I got a couple scripts that I have to read that are comedies. My preference is drama, but we've got 2 movies next year that tap into action, that are action films, and then, like I said, I've got a script for a comedy. I just haven't had the time to read it yet.
because I swear I'm a comedian, y'all.
but we all there. Yep.
This thing been on since we've been here.
Well, we just glad you made the show. It was
Thank
a
you for
pleasure.
coming. We
That
appreciate
time went by too fast.
Yeah, you start talking about relationships, and I got to talk now. Okay, that's good. They probably asking for tickets.
No, somebody said.